Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Corb here, and today we are jumping into a very quick and easy guide to trading. By the end of this guide, you'll be able to quickly and efficiently get the economy of your town going. So, my question is to you, dear viewer. Why would you be just a lord when you could be a rich lord?
Hello, I like money.
Let's jump on in. So, there are a few buildings that you're going to get set up before we jump right in to our trading post and livestock trading post, which will be your two main buildings to help get your economy up and running. The two buildings I want to talk about briefly are going to be your granary and your storehouse. Your storehouse is going to be the general supply area for all of your basic storage. So, we've got firewood, hide, tools, logging pieces, transitionary resource, and planks here in our storehouse. And our granary is going to be our basic supplies for our food. So we've got our berries in here currently right now. We ran out of bread, but our bread was also being stored in here. These two buildings are going to centralize all of your resources and make it easier for the people working in your trading outposts to gather the supplies that they need so they're not running all over town. Where you'll find these two buildings are going to be under construction, and you're going to go to logistics, and you've got your storehouse and your granary right here. I recommend getting these built pretty early on in your campaign so that you can get all your food and supplies off the ground and so that they don't go bad when it rains. So we're going to head on back over here to our trading post. So it's also not a bad idea if you want to put your granary and storehouse a little bit closer to your trading post. How I have it set up over here is I've got my trading post a little closer to where we have our trade point, which is where NPCs are going to come and bring our valuables in and where we're going to export our valuables out. So it's pretty close there. So, jumping on in, let's take a look at our trading post situation. Where you're going to find your trading post, you're going to go to construction, you're going to go over to trade, and you'll see both your livestock and your trading post here. Now, your livestock trading post, not going to be quite as important, at least early on. You know, once you want to start bringing in some livestock and trading possibly sheep, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. That is a great option there. But let's go ahead and we'll look at our trading post. So right here in our trading post, there's going to be 5 tabs. You've got your general tab here, which is going to show the families that you have working here, the people in your trading post that are assigned and what they're doing, your advanced tab, which you can permanently assign a livestock like a oxen here that will help move things quickly back and forth between your trading post and your supply areas. And you got your trade over here, which is going to show you everything that you can either import or export. We'll jump into this here and again in a second. And livestock. If you've got livestock assigned here, like if we were to get a horse, that would show up right here. So we're going to go back over here to this trading tab because this is going to be our most important tab. This is going to show what we can import and export. And we're going to start over here on this far end because if you're looking at it just all at once, it's a little too much to take in. So we'll start over here on the left. We've got some trade rules. What we're going to do. So if you want to import or export, what you would do is you would click on this where it says no trade, which means currently we're not trading anything. You're going to click on that and you can select. Maybe we want to import stone. We want to export stone, or maybe we want to import and export stone if we have like a set number that we want. If we want, let's say, 50 stone in our storage, and maybe we use stone and we're not gathering as much stone, and we drop down to 40, we're going to end up purchasing 10 more stone, if that makes sense there. So full trade, import and export at the same time. Now, if you look right below our stone, I am exporting planks. This is an amazing way in the beginning of your game to start making money early. It's not super expensive, or it's not, you're not making a lot of money from this export. It's 2 gold, I guess you could say, per log or plank that we are selling. So this has allowed us very early in this game, which is we're in our first winter right now, to quickly make some money. So we're doing just fine with our plank exports, but there's also some other things you can take a look at here. You could import, export crops, food, crafting materials. If you happen to have like a high yields iron deposit, this is a great option as well. Commodities that you might be making in your town, and of course military as well. If you're not producing weapons but you're selling a lot of other materials, you could technically import almost all of your weapons and you would be just fine. So let's take a look at a couple of these other options here. So obviously right here you're going to see what you're trading. Over here in our trading menu, also, you're going to see our current surplus and what we would like, what our desired surplus is. So since I am exporting these planks, for example, I have 21 as a current surplus, but I have said that I don't want any more than 20 planks, which means that extra one is going to be sold as soon as we bring that plank over to our trading post, and that's going to get sent off, and we are going to make 2 gold off of that plank. So as long as you're continuing to make more items here, you're going to continue to sell them. And why planks are so good in the beginning is because there's so many trees, and you can simply replant them. So going over here, you are going to see the export price, import and export price. So right now, since we're exporting only, you only see the export price. But if you look up here to say stone, you can export it for 1 and you can import it for 11. That's not a great deal, but it's something. In this far side, you can establish a trade route. So what this is going to be is after paying to establish a trade route, a dedicated traveling merchant will regularly visit your region to trade only this specific type of good, which will speed up your trading for that item. So I went ahead and purchased it. It does cost to establish that trade route. There is a perk I'm going to show you guys here in just a second to show you what it is to actually drop that global market price for establishing this trade route. Great perk. We'll take a look at that in just a second. So here we are. So that is our trading outpost. That is how you're going to make money. It is not immediate. You have to wait for these people to walk back and forth. As you can see, here is our trader Lawrence. He is transporting our planks right now. So we'll make some money off of that here in just a little bit. So let's look at that perk. So up here, you're going to click on your city name. And there is a perk, which I don't have just yet in this new town. It's trade logistics. So establishing a new trade route always costs a maximum of 25 regional wealth. So going back to our trading post here, if you look, it costs 96 gold, let's say, to establish a trade route for roof tiles. That would immediately get dropped to 25. So this is a good perk, very good perk early on, where it costs a lot of money to establish these trade routes. So this one here, plate armor, 288 gold to establish that trade route. That would also drop to 25. So a great deal there. So let's also take a look real quick at our livestock trading post. This is going to be a great option if you're interested in getting sheep. So there are some other animals on here, but sheep is a really good way to start making clothes, which is going to upgrade your burgage plots to level 2 a lot faster. And it's also a way that if you use the sheep breeding perk, that you can start exporting your sheep. And you can make a lot of money off that because they are worth 20 per export. So the perk you're going to want for that is up here, same thing. I actually have this one already. It is our sheep breeding perk. So this perk is allow our sheep to multiply while they're simply grazing in the pastures. They're not going to do this without this perk, so it is a very important perk. It might not necessarily have to be your first perk, but it is a good one to get that economy going. So all you would have to do is just put one family in here, and then just like with our trading post over here, you're just going to drop this down to, this time, import. And so it's going to see how many we have and how many we desire. So let's say let's go ahead and get 2 sheep here. And what that's going to do is it's going to have a trader who is going to come into town bringing their sheep, and they are going to be purchased at our livestock trading post by our people using our regional wealth, and then they'll be transported to our sheep farm, which we actually have right here. So yeah, that is our basic guide to trading. Not super in-depth. I didn't want to make it too complicated, but this should at least get you guys going. Like I said, if you are new, exporting these planks is going to be a great source of early income that's going to be able to allow you to do other things later on, like get your sheep farms up and running, start buying some weapons if you have a lot of bandits problems coming through your town. Make sure that your people are fed, being able to buy bread. I had another campaign where our berries were on the other side of the map, and it was very difficult to be able to keep a good food supply. But because we were selling our planks, we were able to purchase bread and keep our people alive through a first few couple of bad winters. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this guide. I'm sorry if I missed out anything. If you guys have anything to add in the comments below for any new players, please feel free. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If this helped you at all, please consider joining our family as well. Be very happy to have you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining. Peace.